Hey, Mark, this is Sean Stepner from WMAR. In that regard, are you or the Ravens taking any, I guess, extra precautions at the facility this year, different from anybody else, or are, like you said, you just, you're just like one of a normal player?
What's going on, Sean? Yeah, the Ravens have done an incredible job of one just enforcing all the protocols. They've gone up and beyond of all the expectations of when I came here, of what to expect, and guys are wearing their face masks, and guys are social distancing, and we're staying 6 feet apart, and so we're doing everything that we can on our end to be safe and smart. And then at the end of the day, I think it comes down to the players, the coaches, and everyone that's around the facility to take it upon themselves to, when they're at home and there's people maybe coming into their house, or there's people that, they're interacting with that they don't have control of limiting that and making sure that you're always wearing your mask. And I think we all have a common goal to have this season. And I think people are more focused than ever to really achieve that.
Hey, Mark, Childs Walker with the Baltimore Sun. A lot of the players that we've talked to have said that they at least thought about opting out, that they at least had to sort of go through the process of analyzing it in their minds. Did you do that? I mean, did you think about it at all?
No, it's not a, opting out was never, never really crossed my mind. Obviously, I think that safety is the most important thing. And, I seeing what the NFLPA and the NFL have come up with in the system is it's extremely encouraging. I think they got a great system in place, and so for me, there was never I'm going to opt out, or I may not play. I've always been very strong in my beliefs that one, I'm healthy, I keep my body healthy, and I'm going to do everything necessary to make sure that I don't get COVID.
Hey, Mark. It's Kirk McEwen from 98 Rock. Great to see you. You look great. I haven't had a chance to talk to you since Hayden got dealt. I know that you and Nick and Hayden formed a really tight pact. You were able to get out that first year and not get injured, and Hayden unfortunately was. You developed a better bond with Lamar. I'm wondering, did you have an indication before Hayden was traded that was going to happen, and have you talked to him since?
Appreciate that, Kirk. It's first of all, it's obviously sad, about Hayden. It's one of my, best friends, and Nick and I and Pat and everybody else in that room, Andy and Bobby, we're going to miss him greatly. He had a big part last year in everything that we did and every day. So, we're going to miss him first and foremost. But I didn't really have an indication. That was kind of a shocker to me. But at the end of the day, I think it's exciting for Hayden, and being a friend of his, I'm excited for him to have more of an opportunity. He's going to go to Atlanta and thrive. He's a really, really good player. He's a special player, and I think he just needs a chance.
I'm Jimena Lugo La Torre from Ravens Spanish Radio. Mark, it's great to see you. What are you doing to help your new teammates?
I think right now it's just going in every day and attacking each and every day to try to get better. I think the main thing with this team is we've got a lot of young players, and we've got a lot of talent coming back. So just getting in the facility each and every day, working to one goal, and that's to win a Super Bowl. But we got to take that day by day and one day at a time, and not look too far ahead. So just being in there, being kind of a role model, and doing things the right way.
Hey, Mark, Todd Karpovich from SI. Entering your third year, what goals have you made the Pro Bowl last year, but what sort of goals have you set for yourself this season, sort of taking that next step, as a tight end?
How's it going? Yeah, I think obviously last year was a good year, and but there's a lot of room for me to improve. Looking back this offseason, I had a ton of time to think and watch film, and really work on my body to try to get to that next level. And I want to be the best tight end, and I'm not there yet, and I'm excited to be able to show what I can do this year. I think blocking's got to be a huge thing for me, where I got to improve. I think I'm going to make big strides in that area this year, and I'm going to have a lot more opportunities to do that this year. And just continue to work as a receiving guy. That's my bread and butter, but I always want to get better at that. So, I want to be dangerous in all situations, and I'm super excited for this year. I don't come out and have goals for any year. I don't want to have a certain amount of yards or catches or touchdowns. I'm a team guy. I want to win a Super Bowl, and that's the most important thing for me.
Mark, this is Jameson from ESPN again. You have a lot of young talent, and you and a lot of other young Pro Bowl players on this team over the next couple of years could be getting new contracts. Have you, as a group, do you guys think how long can this team, this core, stay intact, especially in a salary cap era?
Yeah, I think, right now, we're living in the moment. We're living in the now. And again, we've said it before, is not looking too far ahead. And, there may be a lot of guys that, need to be paid here in a couple of years. But, the group that we have and everyone around us right now with the coaches and the players, it's just so special to look too far ahead. So we're taking it, day by day, each moment, and trying to be the best team that we can be for this year.
Hey, Mark, it's Luke Jones with WNST. You were talking about Hayden, and a lot of people have talked about how many tight ends you guys used last year. I mean, all three of you guys played so much. Wanted to get your impressions on the young guys, Eli Wolf, Charles Scarf, who was on the practice squad last year, and I guess throw Jarrell Adams in there, a veteran who just came.
Yeah, that's a great question. Those guys have, Eli, first of all, he's done a great job of coming here and learning the system. He moves incredibly well. I'm super excited to play with him some more and get out in the field with him. But he looks really good, and I'm excited about that. Charles has, been here for a year, knows the system extremely well. Great blocker. Has really good feet, and he's honestly pretty crafty with running routes. So those guys are definitely competing. And then Jarrell, just being able to see him run routes and to see him move around. He's a guy that's been in the league for a while and knows some things, so he's a good addition to the room. But the tight end room is definitely going to be a battle, and those guys are working hard. But there's a lot of talent in our room right now.
Hey, Mark, this is Jonas Schaefer with the Baltimore Sun. Good to hear you're doing well. I asked Ronnie a similar question. I'm sure you have plenty of friends still at Oklahoma who might not have a college football season this year. What would having a void like that mean to them, do you think? I mean, if you could put yourself in their shoes. What's
going on, Jonah? I think, it's tough. It's tough to put yourself in those shoes, just, being in college. I think at the end of the day, they have to do, what's right for them. And being a college player and being an NFL player is a big difference. And so they need to have people that are looking out for them. And for us, it was the NFLPA, and they don't have that voice. And so I think as a whole, they need to have players step up and come together and be on the same page with what needs to happen and the guidelines that need to be taken. But it'd be tough. It'd be tough to have your season canceled. I know for me, going to Oklahoma, I lived Oklahoma. I grew up in Oklahoma. So for me not to be able to have a season would be devastating. And so I'm hoping that they're going to have it for a lot of those kids' sakes. That's their time to go out there and prove themselves. A lot of those guys may make a name for themselves this year, and if they don't have that, maybe they don't get into the NFL. So there's a lot that relies on that.
Hey, Mark, this clip goes with the press box. I'm sorry. Last year we talked to you, and you mentioned that you worked on your blocking by working with your brother. I'm curious if you did that again, or how does a tight end go about working on their blocking in an off-season situation?
Yeah, so this offseason was honestly great. First of all, Steve Saunders and the staff, they did an incredible job with the Zoom workouts this year. I'm stronger than I've ever been. I've less fat on me than I've ever had, and feel incredible. So I think strength was a big thing, and just the way that they were able to handle it and get guys in the Zoom workouts and really work hard. It was incredible what the staff put together. So just being able to get stronger, worked out with Scott Elliott every day, another strength guy. So that alone, I think, is going to help a lot. And then going out to the field, is something that I did with my brother and my dad. I'd go out there and, block and run routes. And this is something that, I did daily. So it was a lot of work that was put in this off season. It's definitely the hardest I've ever worked. So again, more blocking with the brother.
Yeah, this is Cliff Brown, Ravens.com, Mark. A lot of coaches, both your coaches and opponents, have complimented you on your ability to get open, which is something you don't hear about with a lot of young players. I'm just curious, without giving away any secrets, do you think that's more instinct, technique, or what is it about you that you feel you grasp that part of the game so quickly?
Good to talk to you, Cliff. Yeah, it's a great question. So first of all, I grew up in high school. I started playing receiver, so I grew up playing outside receiver, and I think as a big guy, a big person, being able to have that feel for the game and to learn things as my base layer. Was great for me. Just being able to feel myself in space and feel where to go. But I think a lot of it is being able to feel things, and sometimes that can't be learned. And there are a lot of things that I have learned and techniques that I use that guys will take or things like that. But just being able to feel yourself in space and feel where the other guy's going to be, and a lot of getting open is deception. Making a guy believe one thing and doing the other. And so I think that's one of the best things that I do.
Hey, Mark Childs with the Baltimore Sun again. It seems like every receiver has gotten this question in one form or another, but what do you think is the next frontier for Lamar as a player?
That's a tough question. Yeah, I think it's obviously he's such a you look at the season they had last year, and it's hard to say he needs to have more yards or touchdown throws and things like that, but. His biggest goal is to win a Super Bowl. That's the biggest thing, and to do that, I think we got to be better in all phases. I think we got to grow upon last year. He's got the capabilities. He's the best player I've ever been around, and he works hard. And so I think you're going to see a even more polished and even more ready Lamar than you saw last year, and that almost sounds unbelievable. But the guy's incredible, and he's a winner.
Hey, Mark,
I'm Ryan Mink from Ravens Media. I'm just wondering, kind of piggybacking off that, what's Lamar been like, his personality, his demeanor, now that he's an MVP, he's on the cover of Madden, he's like one of the biggest superstars in the NFL?
Lamar's Lamar, man. He's never going to change who he is. He's he's our leader. He's a guy that someone you could just go up and talk to him and kind of shoot the crap with him, and he's always going to have fun in the locker room. Fun with his guys, and but when it's time to work and be competitive, that's who he is. He wants to win. Whether it's in practice or whatever it may be. So there's no superstardom coming from Lamar. Lamar's Lamar, and that's something that we all love about him. And I think that's something that everyone can kind of relate to. That his head's not too big, or it'll never get too big, because he's a down to earth person.
Mark, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it. And to everybody else, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you back here on Wednesday. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.